Hello everyone, welcome back to Everything Swift. Today we'll be tackling Leetcode question 16 titled 3 sum closest. We're given an integer array here named nums and a target parameter of type integer. Basically this question we're supposed to pick 3 integer numbers from this array here and sum them up and find out which combination of 3 numbers that gives us the sum that is closest to this target here. So we can see from this integer array here, there is negative 1, 2, 1, and negative 4, and the answer is 2, with the combination of the three integer being negative 1, 2, and 1, which gives us 2, right? We can also use like 2, 1, and negative 4, but that is not the closest to this target here, right? So basically, the gist is pick three numbers, sum them up, find out which one is the closest to the target. That's it, right? So there are two tips for this question, right? The first thing that we are supposed to note is in this question, it does not tell us that the numbers array is sorted in any particular order, ascending or descending. And that's going to be an issue for us because when we are picking the potential numbers, right, being closest to the target. So just imagine that the target is like 1 here, and if we pick negative 1, right, how are we going to get closer to the target, right? The next number in the three-part integer potential candidate, we need a bigger number, right? Because it's a negative number, we're supposed to increase it to be closer to target equals 1, right? If it takes a number lesser than negative 1, it's going to bring us further away from the target, right? It's the same thing with like, if let's say the first candidate option that we pick was 2, right? We know that if we take a number that's bigger, right, it's going to bring us further away from the target because we're going to sum it up, right? So 2 plus anything else bigger is going to make it bigger than target 1, which is going to bring us further away from the target, and that's not what we want, right? So if we do sort the array, we can actually predict, right? Because if the array is sorted, then it will be negative 4, negative 1, 1, and 2, right? Then we know whether like, okay, if we want a bigger number, should we take it from the end of the list or the starting of the list, right? So that brings me to the second tip here. The first tip is to sort the array. Once we sort it, then we are allowed to use this strategy called two pointers approach, starting pointer and ending pointer. And what we're going to do is like we're going to figure out our needs, right? If it's bigger, uh, the number is bigger and we are supposed to decrease it, so we take it from, we increase the starting pointer, and if we, and vice versa, and then we decrement the ending pointer if needed, right? So these are the two tips: sort the array, use two pointers, right? So I'm just going to jump straight into code, and probably this will give you a better clarity on what are the tips that I mentioned. So the first thing is if nums.count is less than 3, then I'm just going to exit, right? So the reason why I'm doing a count less than 3 is because if, well, I mean, the question is asking 3 sum, right? If the numbers array here is less than 3, basically we cannot solve this question, right? So I'm just going to do this to exit out of this function scope as fast as possible. And then the first step is to sort the array. So let's go ahead and do that. Nums dot sorted, and I'm just going to create an answer variable here, which represents the potential answer that we're going to return. That is the sum of the three numbers, right? I'm just going to do this, and we're going to return this answer, right? So we're going to update this answer as we go. So the first thing is to look through the entire integer list, integer array. Then I'm just going to figure out the first number, which is nums of I here, right? And then I said the second tip is to use two pointer approach here, right? So now we pick the first number, which is whatever current index of the iteration that we are at, right? And the second tip, which is to use two pointers, so I'm just going to build that plus 1 var of n equals to nums of count minus 1. Right, so typical two pointer if start is less than n, right? So here I'll create the second number, which is nums of start, and third number is nums of n, and then the sum is first plus second plus third, right? And what we're supposed to check here is if sum is bigger than target, else, right? So this is the part where we either decrement our potential choice, integer choice, or increase it, right? So if the sum is already bigger than the target, we know we need a smaller number. We cannot increase it. And because the array is sorted, we know that if we use n minus 1, the next number that we're going to pick is basically a smaller number instead of bigger number, right? And if the sum is smaller than the target here, we know for sure we need a bigger number, right? So because the array is sorted, we know if we use start plus 1, the next number of our choice is going to be bigger, right? So basically that's how we use the two-pointer approach here to figure out whether we need a bigger number or smaller number to bring us closer to the target here, right? So now once we do this, we're supposed to also update our answer here, because this is not this could be the closest sum to the target, but it also could not be, right? This sum here could be the one that is closer to the target. So at every iteration, we're just going to update it. So I'm just going to check if the absolute number of sum minus target is bigger than absolute number of sum minus target, then basically we know that the answer is further away from the target as compared to the sum combination here that is closer. So in that case, we are going to update our answer variable to sum, right? So basically why I use absolute number here, because we might be dealing with negative cases here, because we see there's some negative numbers as well, but we are not interested in that. We're just interested in the absolute numerical value, and if whichever that is bigger, we know that that could not be the answer. That can be a better answer, right? So we're just updating that. So in that case, yeah, so we applied both the tips, we sorted, and then we use two pointers here to figure out to build our candidate list of the three number combination, and that should be it. Just take one glance. Alright, let's go ahead and submit this. Hopefully we got it right. There we go. Let's try and submit this. There we have it. That is the solution here. We basically use the sorting first and then two pointers to help us out to solve this question. So I hope you guys find this video helpful. I'll be posting more videos from here on now. So really do appreciate you guys supporting my channel. If you guys know anyone who's interested in contents like this, or just a Swift enthusiast, please feel free to share my channel with them. I'm trying to grow this channel. So as always, thank you so much for spending your time. Take care and bye bye.